The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and future. Well, this is called Rain Delay Theater for a reason. I have a family obligation on this Tuesday, and so you get this taped little video instead. But it is a recap of week 2 of my Super 2017 replay using replay or PC replay of the Washington Nationals and Houston Astros. And it's, the funny thing is especially with the Nationals, is those games remain as frustrating as they did when I covered them. The bullpen is 17 shades of horrific, and the starting pitching kind of will come and go, and boy, I need to save. But it's been very fun, and I think the test of a game, especially with a season that you really played close attention to, or paid close attention to, is does it come out like you remember it? And for the first 2 weeks of the season, oh yeah, this is exactly how I remembered the Washington Nationals season. As far as the Houston Astros are concerned, they're a hell of a lot of fun to play. Gosh, they just hit and they pitch and they can almost even field, but they don't strike out with runners in scoring position. And they had a good week, and the Nats had a good week. One of the weird things about the game, if you just take a look at it, I mean, if you've played replay baseball, it's the batter's cards are a 6x6 matrix, and the pitcher's cards, at least for the modern Pete Ventura version, are also a 6x6 version. And you just add the pitchers. It's a 3-dice roll, obviously. So the first die, the red die, I believe, is the column that you look in on the chart or on the card. Second die tells you where to read on the batter's chart, the batter's card, which gives you a number. And then the third gives you the place in the pitcher's card, which you're adding to the batter's result. It's a unique system. And for some reason, it really, truly works, because it does give pitchers that unique feel of, I'm not sure what's going to happen, especially when you're throwing Tanner Roark out there, which somehow leads the Nats and wins with 2. But you just kind of trust that the math all works, and right now that's what it is. So in a moment, we'll go through this week that was for the Washington Nationals. All right, here's the team overview page. You can see how they did over the weekend. They took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies, which is good because the Phillies just beat them to hell last weekend. And in fact, that Friday night loss in the 14th was the only blown save by Coda Glover. They actually were up 2-1. Let me show you. Poor thing. Who got the... Steven Strasburg pitched a whale of a game. Blake Trinan came in and did this thing, and then Glover gave up... What did Glover do? He gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, and a walk, and poor Strasburg, 7 1/3 innings, just did what he had to do, and Glover just kind of gave it up. That's the bad news. The good news is they took 2 out of 3 from St. Louis. They put up 35 hits in 3 games. And yeah, you can see where the bullpen really just kind of blows. But let's take a look at the positive first. Bryce Harper, 2 homers and 9 RBI against the Cardinals. He hit .636 against them. 7 for 11. Overall, they hit 2 triples. Adam Eaton and Jason Worth hit 1 too. They scored 20 runs. Adam Eaton scored 6. Gosh, if he could have only been healthy all year. Dusty Baker did a good job putting these lineups together. Anthony Rendon even went 3 for 9. Stephen Drew is now gone. Max Scherzer hit a homer and a solo shot in his game, and Adam Lind hit a homer off the bench. So the Nats had 6 homers in the series, only struck out 22 times and hit .327. You take that. They won 11-3. They lost 12-4 in the middle game. Gio Gonzalez got Christmas treed, and then they won this finale 5-3. That was the game that Scherzer dominated. So 3 starts, and the Washington pitchers only got into the 7th inning just once in this series. Scherzer did it. Picked up the win, struck out 10, walked 3. That was kind of an easy breezy thing. In fact, 2 of those were home runs late in the game. Scherzer, because it's hard to pull, he had some endurance rating left. I left him in. That was a big mistake. That nightcap should have, or the third game should have been easier than 5-3. All water under the bridge. Roark can't get out of. Oh, that's what happened. He pitched into the 5th, and I got upset because you tend to do that when you give up 10 base runners in 4 2/3 innings and can't throw a shutdown inning. It's the old Drew Douglas thing: is why can't these boys throw a shutdown inning? I don't know. Go ask Tanner Roark. Ah! Anyway, who got the win? That Sammy Solis came in and threw 2 scoreless innings, as a matter of fact, in that series, and picked up the win. So they go 2-1, and Gio was Gio. 3 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned, and the Cardinals took the middle game of the series. So felt pretty frustrated after that. They go 2-1 with an ERA of 6. And look at all the bullpen work. You get 2 innings out of Sean Kelly, 2 1/3. Used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I used 8 relievers. I used 11 pitchers in that series. Coda Glover picked up a save in his only save appearance, which is good. And earned run wise, Kelly gave up 1 2/3, so they gave up 5 earned runs in that period. Blake Trinan had a rough outing, and Ali Perez, I think, just kind of took one for the team. So, but overall, you take 2 out of 3, and you look at Harper's numbers. 7 for 11, 4 runs, 2 homers, and 9 RBI, and only struck out 3 times. You take that 19 times out of 4. Against the Phils, this should have been a sweep. They outscored them 20-9. They got 33 hits. They hit 311 off the Phillies. Player of the series, again, Bryce Harper, 6-12 with only 3 RBI, but he's getting on base. Adam Eaton scored 5 times. T-Bit 6 doubles and only had 4 homers. This was the anti-Ricky Keeler series. They could score runs without having to smash baseballs out of the park, which is what you do. They stole a base, and they only struck out 23 times. Again, I'll go back to the play-by-play, I think. It doesn't matter. Coda Glover blew the save for the first game, and then they just kind of dominated. They outscored Philadelphia 18-6. The rest of the way, and you do that because, well, Gio Gonzalez threw a shutout, a 9-inning shutout. He threw a 2-hitter, never got into fatigue, so you left him in there. He struck out 6. Steven Strasburg, 7 1/3, struck out 10. That was the Friday night game, reminiscent of their playoff appearances. Tanner Roark pitched 5, gave up 6 runs, but only 2 were earned. He just, again, seems like if this was a real game, he was relaxing after the Nats were scoring a run. Just could never get the shutdown inning. Bad defense kind of screwed him a little bit, but they won the game, so that doesn't matter. Again, Sammy Solis about to go on the disabled list, I think. 8 2 innings, struck out 2, allowed 2 hits. Coda Glover, no one's really good enough to be a closer on this team, but Coda blew a save chance. He's saved 3 out of 4. But we saved the bullpen a lot. Eddie Romero, no ERA. Blake Trinan, no ERA. Matt Albers, no ERA. And Ali Perez, no ERA. So in 27 innings, we had an ERA of 1.67 and a batting average of 3.11. We get Trey Turner back for the Mets over the weekend, 421. And Stephen Drew comes back in on the 29th of May. But Turner's back this week. Wilmer Defoe actually has played well. We'll get to the batting stats in a minute. So looking forward, it's a 2-start week for Max Scherzer against the Braves on Tuesday the 18th. And then Sunday against Zach Wheeler. I'm looking forward to that. Joe Ross makes his season debut, thankfully, on the 19th, even though he doesn't start that many games. Steven Strasburg gets a start to finish off the Braves. That's down in Hotlanta, and it's all on the road. And then up to Citi Field for the Ricky Keeler Bowl. It's Tanner Roark against Matt Harvey. Gio Gonzalez coming off his two-hitter against Jake DeGrom. And Max Scherzer against Zach Wheeler. Let's take a look at the batting. Can take a look at the batting leaders. Bryce Harper again, 413. But just an impressive card. He's had 2 multi-home run games, and then he had a grand slam on the 10th against St. Louis. And if you know how those cards read, that's just pretty gosh darn impressive. He's slugging .848 and has an on-base percentage of .491. 6th in batting average, 3rd in homers, and leads the National League in RBI with 19. Trey Turner still has 3 steals. Ryan Zimmerman hitting .341. Adam Eaton hitting .340. We're going to miss Adam when he goes. Pitching-wise, full pitching stats. As a team, it's .437 ERA. We did get the complete game, and they've saved 4 games. Ali Perez came in and got a save. The whip is 143. That's not very good. We've had 6 quality starts out of 12, and only 1 blown save, and I've only had to use the 1 intentional walk. So Scherzer's thrown 14 2/3 innings in his 2 starts. Roark 16 2/3 in his 3. Gonzalez 19 1/3 in his 3, and it's 2-1. So overall, I mean the Nats are doing okay, and we don't talk about Jeremy Guthrie and mixed company. Is there anything? Is there? I guess not. So they can get on base and score runs. Their .292 average leads the National League. Their .352 on base percentage leads the National League, and they've scored 68 runs in 12 games. Somehow they're 7-5. Why is that? Pitching. They're 8th in runs against at 55. Their .437 ERA is 9th, 14th in all of baseball. Their .143 WHIP is 12th, and their .263 batting average against is 12th. It's frustrating. They're 2 back of the Phillies at 7-5. An impressive week. They got to start. They've only played 3 games on the road. We'll see what they do against the bottom feeders of the NL East, the Braves and the Mets. For Houston, it was only a 5-game week, then a day off. They went to Seattle and pounded the bejesus out of the Seattle Mariners 30-16. They won by the scores of 9-4, 6-3, and 15-9. Pitching-wise, Mike Fears did not pitch all that well. We only got him into the 5th. He was on empty and just was not going to get the win. I forget, must have been the last game of the series because that's the only one that Seattle scored 8. And so that was going for the sweep. He couldn't do it. We'll figure out what's going on later. Joseph Musgrove, who only is a spot starter, went 7 in his start, struck out 9. Charlie Morton could not finish the 7th, but he got the win anyway, 2.70 ERA. He pitched into the 7th. No big whoop. He struck out 11. And so the bullpen, Tony Sipp, must be we did a lot of left loogie action here. He pitched in all 3 games and got lit up. We had 2 saves. Luke Gregerson got 1, and Ken Giles got 1. Gregerson, I think, came in to pitch it. Oh, he must have pitched. It was a 2-inning save. Will Harris still is kind of struggling, and Chris Davinsky only faced 1 batter. So the Astros pen is okay, and their starters will do the job. But when you hit .361 as a team, it really doesn't matter what you do. And Seattle had 6 errors. So let's see. For Houston, Carlos Correa, 9 for 15 with 10 RBI, 6 doubles. He had 6 doubles in 3 games in Seattle and scored 6 times. That's pretty gosh darn good. Jose Altuve only had 4 RBIs, went 7 for 15, struck out 3 times, broke a dugout phone. Alex Bregman, 6 of 15. Only 3 stolen bases. Altuve had 1. Marwin Gonzalez had 1. Good luck with the Twins. And Nori Aoki had 1. So Houston, 3-game sweep. You'll take it 17 times out of 2. The rare rain out in Oakland kind of shortened the series to a 2-game set. Houston won the opener behind Quenchel 9-2, and Lance McCullers just did not throw a good game in Game 2. No complete game, so We tried out Michael Feliz. Well, Harris came in and only gave up one hit in an inning in third, and Yandel Gustav went through 3 innings in 2 games and pitched very well. And so Houston's bullpen is in tremendous shape. Hitting wise, Carlos Correa, grand slam, went 4 for 7 against the A's and drove in 5, had the lone stolen base. They hit 279, he hit 571. 15 strikeouts, that's a few too many for me, but Evan Gattis and Jake Marisnick are not the world's greatest hitters, and they're, even though Gattis went 1 for 3, he struck out twice. Marisnick, he's a better defender than anything. They did walk 11 times. Correa, Altuve, and Reddick both walked twice, and they had the one triple. Both games are pretty much uneventful, and like I said, McCullers just couldn't get anybody out. He allowed 9 base runners in 3 2/3 innings, 6 runs. That will do it. Houston tried to make a game of it, but could not get anything late. So they have a 5-game or 6-game week coming up. I have a 7-game week coming up, don't they? They host the Mike Trouts for 4, starting Monday, April 17th. Charlie Morton, Joe Musgrove, Nels Keuchel, and Lance McCullers, who pitched so well his first time out. Not really fair to put any blame on him for the bad start. The one I'm worried about is against Tampa Bay is Mike Fears, because he's not had 2 good starts. He's listed as a team ace. They're 1-1 in his starts, and he's has an ERA of 13. What's his real record? 8-10 with an ERA of 5.22. So I guess we're not going to get that much out of him this year. I don't know why they list him as the ace. There's a decent card for strikeouts. There's only the 1-3 in that 6 column on the 2. But those power numbers are pretty bad. That 6 column, you want 1 as the best and 5 as the worst. And so that just goes to show that Mike is home run excuse me, is home run easy with all those 4s and 5s there. So you're not going to win much of anything with the whip of 233. It should go down to 143, but right now it's 233. Carlos Correa is hitting 426. Yulzeki Gurriel is hitting 389, and of course my buddy Jose Altuve is hitting 378. Gurriel is 4 homers. But let's take a look at Correa's card. I mean, that's just sick. He only played 109 games, 24 real homers. Well, right now he's hitting 426. That's 4th. We don't care about the homers. His 18 RBIs is good for 2nd. And then a grand slam on the 14th, a 3rd-inning blast out for Kendall Graveman. I don't know how many of those are automatic home runs. Of course, the pitcher can change that. But, he's hitting 426. Wow, he only had 2 stolen bases? His fielding could be a little bit better, but it's early in the season. And you just take that and run. Who else do I want to show you? Altuve? Okay. Altuve hasn't hit a homer yet. I don't think we really care. He's hitting 378 and has driven in 8. He's going to hit 346 on the year. His fielding is pretty good. He's got some speed, 32 stolen bases. Oh, he's just such a pleasure to watch. I just love watching him play. And makes having the package worthwhile. So, Jose Altuve, there you go. And there's his card. Now, let's look at McCullers. Lance is only going to make 22 starts. He's 7-4 with a 4.25 ERA, so he actually is pitching a little bit above his head. But you'll take that. I mean, the Astros did win the division, and of course got to the World Series. And why are they 9-3? Well, let's take a look. ERA-wise, they're at 3.92. But Dallas has a complete game. And the bullpen just hasn't been used that much. Charlie Morton has had 2 good starts as well. So we just haven't burned the bullpen. We're hoping that Will Harris gets a little bit better. But the whip is 111. Quakel, 0.80. Musgrove, 105. Giles, he's only pitched twice, but it's a .43. Yavinsky at .86 out of the pen. Morton a 107 as a starter. Luke Gregerson, 0.21. And a .2 out of Gustav. So, yeah, when your bullpen is that good, good things are going to happen. So, yeah, so it's the Angels and the Rays next week. The Angels at home. Astros are 5-2 at Minute Maid. They go to Tampa, who are now, but the Astros are 4-1 on the road, including a split with Oakland. They've won 7 of their last 10, and they're now 9-3 overall. And if you want to see overall standings, Boston, New York, and Toronto lead the American League East. Cleveland is 11-1. Holy Snickers. Houston 9-3, a 2-game lead over Oakland, 4.5 over the Angels, 5 over Texas, and 5.5 over Seattle. In the National League, Washington still trails Philadelphia by 2. Chicago with a 1.5 lead over Milwaukee. San Francisco 1.5 over Los Angeles. Chris Sale has an ERA of .38. Matt Cain has an ERA of .60. Okay, well, that's what we got for you this week. Like I said, not necessarily playing these, making sure I'm playing every day, but we're going to try to see what we can do to keep this replay going. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, Washington is just frustrating as far as they're concerned. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do something. Hold on 1 second. I'm not screwing with my editor. So why is Houston 9-3? Well, we told you about the pitching. Their whip is second in the American League. Batting average against is third at .238. ERA is fourth at .392, but remember the DH. It's the offense. They're hitting .290 as a team. That's best in the American League. They've scored 77. That's second in the American League. They're on base 30 at a .358 clip. That's second. 18 home runs, 9 stolen bases. Houston's just clicking. Okay, one more time, because I forgot to do it before. So there you go. Houston is just cruising right along. Washington makes me pull my hair out. And this has been a fun replay. So I don't know when we'll upload the one for week 3. But live action should resume on this channel Wednesday night between the Los Angeles Dodgers and Pittsburgh Pirates, if you're watching this on tape there. So if you have any questions about replay, shoot them over. I'm enjoying it. I think it's a good system. I think for this being a PC game, I think it's a very good system. I would probably not use it to stream a lot of games. I like Action PC better. I think it flows a little bit better instead of getting hung up on all the dice rolls. All right, hit that like and subscribe. We do 3 baseball games and 1 or 2 basketball games and other things on this channel a week. For now, all right, I'm Ron Jeckett for Retro Sports Network. We'll talk to you the next time.